And we are rolling. Hello, this is Frater Ralph with Temple of the Infinite Universe. And I thought I'd do a short message today on how we view things. It's a lot of times people will ask the question, do you see people as being basically good or as being basically evil? And that's a pretty good question because there are some denominations out there and some uh, Christian, non-Christian religions out there that say that people are basically evil, that they've been corrupted, they're staying corrupted. There's just no redeeming them outside of some huge miracle that is going to save them from eternal damnation. And one point of view that this is very strong in, one system of theology, is called Calvinism. And John Calvin is the founder of Calvinism, and he used to preach that, humanity is made up of dirt. That, you're not just dirty, you are dirt through and through. And he took that from the book of Genesis, one of the creation stories there, where God formed the first people out of the dust of the earth, out of the dirt, if you will. And if you want to view that passage in the extreme negative sense, then you can say that yes, God made dirt and we are dirt. There's one saying I love that, God don't make trash. But John Calvin, he saw it another way, that yeah, God was very good at making garbage, and you and me are the result of that inept creator just making us out of dirt, making us filthy, making us so flawed that only a bloody miracle could save us. Now, I don't I don't agree with that point of view. I think that God does in fact create everything good. In that same book of Genesis, you go back to the first creation story. God made light, and behold, the light was good. God made the earth, and behold, the earth was good. The dry land was good. The oceans were good. Everything was good. And then when God created humanity, the human race, God looked and said, wow, this is good. And if you take it back to the original Hebrew, you can see that yes, God was very pleased with his creation. God did not make garbage. God made stuff that was good. And that's the way that we view things here at Temple of the Infinite Universe. God does not make garbage. God creates, and what he creates is good, but we do have the capacity to fall from grace, to commit evil deeds. We view that the human race is basically good but fallen, and that we can, with a little bit of help from above and from within, we can change our ways. We can take what is evil and we can transform it into a good. We see good and evil as being two different parts, two different extremes of a pole. Take, for example, okay, this stick. The principle of polarity can be demonstrated like here, if we're going to do an east-west type of polarity, that we would have east on one side, west on another side. If we're going to look at it from like the perspective of good and evil, we could say that this is the evil pole and that this is the good pole. Now, folks that teach theology and spirituality from an extremist point of view, they'll look at the two extremes and they'll say, look, that's normal. You got the extreme good, you got the extreme evil, and look how far apart they are from one another. But the reality is that while we do have the two extremes, good versus evil, we also have a midpoint. And in this midpoint is where the vast majority of human beings are at. Neither good, totally good, neither evil, totally evil. They're a mixture of both, a mixed bag. And what we teach at Temple of the Infinite Universe is that by doing some inner work, to determine where you are on the scale of good and evil, bravery and cowardice, uh, right, wrong, whatever scale you want to work on for that day or that month. Find out accurately where you are. Do some self-examination of where you stack up. Do you feel, honestly, that you are totally good or totally evil? Or are you somewhere in between? And then once you've got yourself calibrated, perhaps either by some inner work on your own or talking to somebody you trust, talking to a spiritual advisor, uh, making your confession, if you will, and just laying it all out and saying, this is what I've done, this is where I'm at. Now, can you help me get to a brighter, more positive future? And however you make that determination, whether you do it on your own or with a friend or with a spiritual advisor, figure out where you are at. Are you at an extreme end? Are you totally evil, totally corrupt? Are you an angel, a complete saint, over here on this end of the scale? Or honestly, are you somewhere in between? And when you figure out approximately where you're at, then you can change your ways. You can change your inner disposition by focusing your energy on the opposite pole to which you desire to be attracted. If you want to attract more good into your life, as most people of goodwill do, then focus on the good. Uh, direct your energy to the good. And wherever you direct your attention, you direct energy. If you focus on the positive things of life, of your personal life, then those positive things will grow. However, if you focus exclusively on the negative things of life, then you give power to that negativity and negative things will grow. And what we teach here at Temple of the Infinite Universe, no one of us is absolutely good nor absolutely evil. We don't deal in absolutes, not in that way. We teach that we are a mixed bag. Humanity is a mixture of both. And by working, cultivating on the positive things that you want to see in your life, those positive things will grow. We don't see anybody as being absolutely cast off from salvation. We don't see anybody as being totally evil. We do see some people who do evil things. We do see people who have been corrupted. But we believe and we teach that these people can be redeemed. They can transform themselves with a little bit of help from their friends and a little bit of help from above into better human beings. So no matter how bad you think you've been, no matter how many mistakes you've made, no matter how badly your life may seem to be totally screwed up at the moment, there is hope. We have the power to transform. We have the power to reach out for help. And we have the power to improve ourselves. And self-improvement is going to take time. Like, for example, let's look at this little symbol of polarity again. If you feel that you're way down here on the negative scale, it's going to take time to work your way up. I mean, we don't flip-flop radically. If you do, well, some people do flip-flop radically, but that's not the sign of a well-balanced life. If you're over here at this one extreme and then you totally flip it over and find yourself on the good end, that's more illusory than it is factual. It takes time to move from the negative extreme to the positive extreme and to balance it out somewhere in the middle. If you honestly feel that you're closer to the evil side than you are to the positive side, or the negative side than the positive side, then it's going to take time to slowly change and redirect your attitude back to the positive, or back to a more balanced way of being within this earthly life. So it takes patience, it takes commitment, it takes a willingness to change, a willingness to transform. And to me, that's the key right there. When I was growing up in the 60s, we had an expression that this is the way I am, and this is the way I am always going to be, so you have to accept me just the way I am. Now, there's a truth to that. We do have to accept people just the way they are. That's part of the truth. The other part of the truth is that we are changeable. We are mutable. We don't have to stay stuck in one area if we don't want to stay stuck. If you want to stay stuck, fine. You can do that. It's your life. You're free to do that. But if you want to make positive changes, you don't have to stay stuck. You can gradually change and transform and focus on the good you want to bring into your life. So, if you are prone to anger, if you're prone to drunkenness, if you're prone to being, well, for lack of a better term, an asshole, you don't have to stay being an asshole. You can just, you can recognize that, yes, I do have these negative traits. I do tend to be prone to anger. I do tend to be an asshole from time to time. But I can change that. I can work on that. Instead of being hot-tempered and prone to anger, I can work on developing more patience, more love, more forbearance. And, I can gradually change. And it may take, it's going to take more than a day. It's going to take more than just watching a few inspirational videos. It may take months. For some people, it may take years. But if you want to change, if you have the honest desire to change, and if you're willing to seek out whatever help you think you need to make that change, swallow your pride and just say, hey, this is the issue I'm working on, can you help? Then yes, you can make changes. But if you just like being stuck, you like being who you are, you'd see no need to change, then change probably is not going to happen. But we do have the ability to change, and that's what I'm focusing on here. So enough said on that. This is Frater Ralph signing off from Temple of the Infinite Universe, and we'll see you around the universe later on. Bye-bye.